Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess. And if you want your mind properly blown, go on YouTube and look up Willard Scott, first Ronald McDonald. You will and you won't regret it. Trust me on this. But hit that like button, otherwise we will not take a look at the Flissa multi-tool. So this thing I believe was about 20 bucks on Amazon, and I got this to do a 1-to-1 comparison with the Rocktol right here, followed by the Gerber Suspension NXT. Now, I don't like clones, I really don't. However, I didn't know this was a clone when I got it until it was pointed out after the fact. And you guys said you wanted to see this when I was talking about this. Now, I'm probably not going to do a lot more with multi-tools just because it is so hard to find something under like 150 bucks, 100 bucks, 75 bucks. You know, like sticker shock prices for my broke self that aren't clones of another multi-tool. Like, I swear to God, multi-tools are infested. Jesus! So we'll take a look at these in Suspension NXT, and I'll be looking for something unique that I can afford that's not these. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I wanted to throw that out there so you guys know where I stand on this. But this thing, I carried it for a week. I used it every way that I could think of, that I had a reason to use it for, and I like it. So this thing has got a tight action on it, which, might be able to lubricate it and tweaked a little bit. Our cutters right here, the cutters are removable, and I did feed it some wire, some heavier gauge wire. I don't know if it'll show. You can see where some of the steel is left on there from that wire. And the dingus end down here popped through it real nicely, and even coming farther out where it's a bit weaker. It went through it, took a lot of pressure, but it didn't damage it at all. I love seeing that because the kind of wire I cut would have damaged the hell out of other multi-tools I've had in the past, the cheap ones. Let's take a look at our tools here. And of course, you can use the tools without opening it, which is always a plus. You know, we got the knife here, partially serrated. You know, it is what it is. I don't use the knife on a multi-tool very often. I don't need it that often. I'm always carrying something else. I haven't had to use a knife on a multi-tool in years. So we've got our can opener / bottle opener / small flat bit right here. We have got our larger flat bit / pry bar. And we got our scissors right here. And I did see a good bit of use out of the flat bit right here, and this lock feels so much better than the lock on this did. But this is one of those, I was trying to run in some large Phillips heads, and they were large enough that the flat bit fit in there perfectly. And I'm reefing on it, and you feel that slip that tells you just wrecked the tip of your tool. And all I did was scratch the paint up a little bit. I gave her 4? And that slip in the past has meant you just bent the hell out of the tip of your tool. Doing that same thing, I bent the tip of the replaceable bit on the Leatherman curl. So, I really went after it. But I'm really happy to see that. The Phillips head wound up being the same thing. I started off trying to tighten down some of those screws with this just to get in there and get it without bending the tip of my flat bit. And I felt the dreaded slip. It slipped, and it felt exactly like it does when you strip the tip out. No, I just scratched the paint. That's all I did. Really, really happy to see that. I mean, really happy to see that. And of course, we got the scraper here, and I will complain about this incessantly, but why is there a lanyard hole serving as a tool? That could have been literally anything else, something far more useful. A saw, something like that. And of course, we got our file here, and I kept looking for stuff to file down at work, and I just could not find anything. There was like one part of one of our floats that I did want to file down, and I just could not find that float. There was like a little sharp dingus end sticking out that was not fun to hit. But, that's besides the besides. For what I needed it for and what I needed it to do, it did quite well. Now, this thing right here, it's just not quite the same. I've got the action loosened up quite a bit on this, but I did have to get in there with a pry bar and pry this one back a good bit to relax it enough to let it open without grinding and being nearly impossible. This didn't need anything. Everything on this one feels a bit smoother, a bit nicer. The tools open nicer. The lock feels nicer when you use it. Like, everything on it just worked great. And I do like that this one right here, it shows you which direction to push the lock in order to close tools. This one did not. So I may have damaged the lock on this, forcing something closed past it when I didn't know exactly how it worked yet. But, all in all, I think this one is a little bit better than this one. This is like an 8. This one's an 8.5. Now, I've seen a lot of guys that are really disgusted with the suspension NXT. I'm not sure why yet. I'll carry it. I'll see. There's a good chance with it being Gerber, especially that the quality is just lower than these and it's much more miserable to use. We do have one. I am going to carry the cheap multi-tool and get that out of the way. Just have some fun beating on trash. And then we're going to get to the suspension NXT and we're going to see how it stacks up against 2 of its copies. And again, not a fan of this. I think after this, I'm stepping away from multi-tools until I can find something unique that I can afford without having the sticker shock of Leatherman prices or something like that. Like, it is so bad. It is so bad trying to find stuff that's not a copy of something else that you can afford. It's just so bad. But for the purposes of this comparison, this is a bit better. This is not too bad. A little bit better. And it's hard to go wrong with either one. They're very affordable. They work really well. I am not mad at these at all. But that's everything I think is saying. It's just, that's what it is. A little bit better, still okay. But all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We do have a giveaway coming up. It has been delayed. FedEx sucks, but what do you do? Also, hit that like button if you haven't already. Comments, love some feedback. Let me know what you think about these things or the issue with these things being one-to-one copies of the suspension NXT. Like, I'm not comfortable with it. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.